deal. And there's one particular piece tonight that we want to make sure we cover, so it'll be a little different than what you've seen in the past, a little twist on it. But we're doing what we think is best to make this all well. So thank you for working with us. Give me just one more moment to get this finalized here. I think we're good. All right, let me come back into Zoom. You did miss the agenda. I want to make sure that you got that email, and we'll be sending you something later on. So officially, welcome to the third and final Red Zone committee meeting. We want to make sure that everybody here gets all the information that they need and all the information that they have. I want to take you first to the website. The website is the best place to get all the best information for Red Zone. So if you haven't been there, I invite you to go there. And I need to get this out of the way. Try that again. Hopefully you have seen some updates. We've been working on some updates today, so we wanted you to get a chance to see that. And we think that will help you to be ready. Do you see the full Red Zone page on the screen?
No.
No, I don't see it.
No.
Okay, so it's pulled it over somewhere else. Give me one more second here. All right, you should be able to see this now. Now you can see the screen, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. So we've taken some things and updated them. We'll still update some more throughout the day. But one of the big things that we wanted you to see was the website. And there are some things that have been added and updated. You know, YMMS is in registration, all the YMMS, the registration info, the general info, the list of deadlines was there. There are some deadlines we'll go over tonight. Just reminders about background checks. If you're still looking for meals, you can find them through this link. You just click on the plus sign and you can still register for meals if they're available. That's until it's sold out. And if you're trying to figure out what's my housing, like I got a chalet, but I'm not sure what it looks like, click here and you'll get the layout of all the buildings from camp. And then we've got some parking information that we're going to be putting there soon. We're going to post that tonight or tomorrow morning, but we'll go over it tonight as well. We wanted you to see that. We have finished the updated app, so that's coming, the updated schedule. That's coming. We just want you to refer back to the website so that you know that this is where you're going to get all your latest information. For those of you who are from our adventure world, there is a whole section here for adventures. You'll get details on the website. Again, I'm at floridaconference.com/redzone, and you'll get the schedule, bug information, the bug race stuff. So we got some added details for our adventures. PSE, all of our stuff is up here as well for Pathfinder Skill Event. So we want that to be there. Schedule, we're going to get posted the update here this week. The merchant pin, you've already done that. Honors and activities. There are some updates that we're working on getting posted here. When you go to the plus sign, we have an updated list of honors and activities, and then we have the details for how to do that also listed there. So those are things that will be updates for you. And then if you haven't taken to look at the activity Goose Chase, that's something that people are already participating in. That's an online game where kids can get on, adults can get on. Last I heard, Central was winning of the 4 areas. There's a bunch of different
blowing the competition out of the water. It's like it's not even. Just Central.
That is the voice of Kim, our TLT director. She helped set that up. So she is definitely confirming that Central is crushing it. S'mores contest. If you want to have a Pathfinder or an adventure that makes great s'mores, or if you want to enter that contest, we've got the s'mores contest there. And then the map will be posted here later today, later this week for sure. That will be up. So just want to make sure you see that. Drill and Drum. There's also information here. So if you haven't been to the website, you may be like, whoa, what is all this stuff? If you have been to the website, there are some new things that are posted and new things that will be posted. Another thing down at the end is the Zoom recording. We'll post the recording to this video here as well, but the first two are already up there. So we wanted to make sure that you saw that and that you were able to check in on those things and know what's going on. So just wanted to give you a chance to get that update. And now I want to take you to our agenda for tonight. And we'll go over these things in more detail and walk through with you. And then at the end, we'll stay by to answer any questions you might have, because we want you to be clear on what is going on. All right. So here we are. This is our agenda for tonight. We want to give you an update of the Red Zone registration. We're up to over 3,100, and we've got about 150 Pathfinders and adults coming from Southeastern Conference. So we're very happy for all those who have registered. I do want to walk you through this as well. For the PSE, excuse me, anyone know when PSE closes? Can you read the screen? Pathfinder skill events?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. And this is only a team registration. So you're just saying, yes, my Pathfinder is going to be involved in the Pathfinder skill events, and you click in there that you want to be involved. There is a tutorial in the agenda that you were sent, so then you can add if you want to, and that's another way for you to get involved. If you didn't get the tutorial, I'll copy this and paste it in the chat room here in a minute, so that you can take a look at that. But we want you to be able to see all this information. But if you don't know how to do PSE registration, there's a tutorial there that will help you. And I believe I saw Stephen on here. Stephen has been working hard with Karen and Eartha to get honors and activities ready. And that opens tomorrow, May 14, that's Tuesday, and closes the next Tuesday after that on the 21st. And there are instructions on what to do and where to go. And we looked at some of that just a moment ago from the website. Notice that the sign up will not be in YMMS. It will be in Constant Contact. And the link in the document on the website says it's not open yet because it's not 1 p.m. Tuesday, May 14 yet. So in the document, there are some links to click to this and click to that. This was emailed to you earlier today. And again, I'll put this into the chat so that you can have access to it. Stephen, is there anything you would like to add to this? I know all the information is there on those two links and documents.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just to confirm and remind everyone that yes, as you said, they can go right to the website or they can refer to the document that was sent. The link to register will not allow them to do anything until 1 p.m. But on the website, there'll be an updated, hopefully by tomorrow morning, that updated list of honors that they can see ahead of time. And just to share, we're asking that only one path. Let me rephrase this. There'll be only one honors ticket or activity ticket available per Pathfinder. That's one. The reason being is we have 3,100 people coming. We want to give our Pathfinders an opportunity to get an honor or an activity, as many as possible. But once everyone has registered, once registration closes, any leftover tickets will be handed out live at the A-frame at 8:30 a.m. Sabbath morning during Red Zone. So extra tickets, if we have, will be given then. And we're saying once you go on to register, you can only go on once. We're gonna get a printout after registration closes, and if we see that a club has going on more than once, then we're just going to flag that and remind you that we'll only honor your first request. If you go on and you inadvertently submit with and you miss something, there's instructions there to contact Karen at the conference office, and she will give you permission to go back on and do whatever else you need to do.
Very good. All right, that's a great overview. If that sounded like a lot of information, don't worry, it's all in the documents, right? And I just posted that in the chat room, so you don't have to feel overwhelmed. That's been posted up on the website. We've sent out some information, but if you're first time hearing that, don't be scared. It's all there. You can definitely review it. Thank you, Stephen, for the update.
Pastor
All right.
Pedro?
Yes,
So
Eartha.
this is Eartha, sorry. So we also want to highlight a few of the walkthrough honors that we just want to kind of promote a little bit more. We have like the scavenger hunt, we have the emojis, and I see Kim had her hand up. I don't know if she was going to talk about those. We have the Bible enactment, and we have like the prayer walkthrough, and the emojis where they will those three ones, the prayer walkthrough, the Bible and character enactment, and the emojis. We wanted to kind of highlight and promote them. I know you mentioned the goose chase, which is going on, that you mentioned that Central is crushing the charades and the s'mores. So we want to ensure that we highlight them. And I think there was also a question in the chat, but I think Pastor Stewart answered it. I was trying to answer as well. It's one ticket per Pathfinder, until if there's any extra left, that's when we'll hand them out on Sabbath morning. So
Yeah,
Great.
the Bible emojis, the Bible story emojis, they're going to be hidden around Kalakwa, all different places. So to get credit for it, you have to have the right location with the right Bible story that the emojis are emojing, and then fill out your sheet and drop it off at the A-frame. Is that what you were deciding, Miss Eartha?
yes, I think we'll have the box. We'll have a box there, and that's where they'll be able to drop their answer or their information.
And then the Bible stories, with Love in Motion being our theme, there are going to be different movie clapperboards hidden again around Kalakwa, different places, encouraging you guys to videotape yourself doing or acting out a Love in Motion story that has to do with, the challenge on the back. So you'll have to look for those clapperboards that give you the challenge that you can videotape your club doing that story that expresses love in motion. And we'll let you know where to send those later.
Yep. Thank you. That's what we want to promote for now. We'll come back if anything.
Very cool. All right, thank you so much for that. That's great. And we just want to make sure that we're all tracking here. There are some things on there. And one other item real quick, there is going to be on Sunday, 2 45-minute shows. If you're a Pathfinder and you want kids to start thinking about about Believe the Promise Camporee and getting ready for this, we've got a guy coming to teach kids how to crack a whip, how to use a whip and how to crack a whip. So even if you're an adult and that interests you, come over to the barn area on Sunday, 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. And we've got a local guy from Florida who grew up as a Pathfinder, and he lives there. He's a friend of Camp Kalakwa. So we're excited that he will be coming on board and teaching our Pathfinders that. So that's another thing to look forward for a sign up. So lots of activities planned for the young people, for our Pathfinders and our adventures. We're excited for that. Again, meals, we just talked about. Swaps. Let's go to that one. For swaps, we are at the place in our timeline where swaps are still possible. If you have someone who is ticketed in YMMS and you want to change them for somebody who's not ticketed, if Billy decided he can't come, but now Sally can come, or Jose couldn't, but now Jane can, whoever it is, you can do that in YMMS up until Monday, May 21 p.m. Now, because you can do that until Monday, May 29 p.m. or 1 p.m., we're asking you to not print your tickets. Don't start printing your tickets or sending digital copies of tickets until you get to Tuesday, May 21, 6 p.m. At that point, all YMMS tickets will be final. We'll do our final cleanup and lockdown. Please don't print your tickets before that. That will help you save you from having issues with tickets and checking in and doing all that on Friday. All right. So vehicles, we're coming up to this one. Vehicles, remember, clubs will only be allowed one vehicle to stay in your campsite or in front of a housing that you've purchased for the weekend, and vehicles must have a parking pass to enter and unload. Again, this was one of the big items that we wanted to talk to everyone about tonight. So I've created another document here that we're going to post to the website, but I want to review this with you in your hearing and then open up for questions. And Eartha, if you could help me monitor for questions when I'm sharing, I don't see the whole screen.
Okay.
All right, so this is the parking guidelines, and this is something we want everyone to be aware of so that we're all on the same page and we can reduce surprises at Red Zone check-in and also increase the flow of everybody getting where they need to go and keep everybody in a place of peace, right? So that's the idea. Each club attending Red Zone will have limited vehicle access. We are making a questionnaire. It's going to be sent out to the club director and secretary in a questionnaire link, and we were aiming to get that today. It will be until tomorrow when we get that. And then based on the questionnaire that you're going to respond to, we will assign parking passes to a person or vehicle for your campsite, and then another parking pass for a vehicle for your purchased housing or rooms. Filling out that questionnaire will help you get those parking passes. If you don't fill out the questionnaire, if you don't respond by May 20, then you will receive your one in and out parking pass per club, but that's it. So we don't want you to get stuck or feel limited. We want you to have a chance to go over all of what's available to you and make sure you get the full benefit of all the parking passes and the vehicle pass. So here's the deal. Each club is going to get that's tent camping is going to get a campsite parking pass. This is for the driver and the vehicle that you assign in the questionnaire. So one vehicle per campsite per Pathfinder club camping in the field, that's your campsite parking pass for your club. If you're an adventure club, one vehicle in your campsite per adventure club camping in the field, a campsite parking pass for the adventure club. This is the vehicle that enters camp when you check in. This is the vehicle that parks in your campsite off of the road inside where you're going to be setting up. This is the vehicle that stays parked for the weekend until 9:30 a.m. So every club that's tent camping gets one parking pass for your campsite. If you're pulling a chuck wagon, if it's attached to a trailer, that trailer, we ask that it stays attached throughout the weekend and that vehicle not be used to drive around camp. Just because that vehicle's in your campsite doesn't mean you get to use it during the weekend. We want that vehicle to stay parked. This is your campsite parking pass. Every club that is tent camping will get a campsite parking pass for that vehicle that you as the director says, this vehicle, this driver, that's the one that gets this pass, the campsite parking pass. In addition, if you have purchased housing, we are saying that every club that's purchased housing will get a building parking pass for the weekend. Again, this is for the driver and the vehicle that you assign in the questionnaire. So the vehicle that you tell us and the driver that you tell us, we have 2 lodge rooms. So we want 2 parking passes for those 2 lodge rooms, and those 2 passes go to driver X and driver Y. This vehicle enters camp, parks in front of your purchased housing, and stays parked until 9:30 a.m. Again, the building parking pass is only if you've purchased lodging, housing at Kalakwa for the weekend, and it's only for that vehicle to drive to that lodging and then park and stay parked until 9:30. We've had it in the past where somebody gets a chalet and then tries to drive food from the chalet out into the field or into the back airstrip. That is not why we allow that vehicle to go in there. That vehicle is for you to get to the building that you've purchased for the weekend, to stay there and leave that vehicle parked until 9:30 a.m. All right. So you get 1 campsite parking pass. You get a building pass for every room purchased. So if you got 3 Woodland Lodges, you got 1 chalet, you get 1 building pass for the chalet, 1 building pass for each of the 3 Woodland Lodge rooms that you purchased. And you tell us who the driver is that gets that pass and who's the vehicle. You, as director secretary, get to assign those in the questionnaire. So that's something that we want you to do and take the initiative on. If you want those passes to get to the campsite for that 1 vehicle, to get to the building for however many housing rooms you purchased, those are the passes you need. Only vehicles that have a parking pass will be allowed to enter. No pass equals no entrance. So we want to make sure that everyone sees that this is how we're going to do this. And if you have a pass, if you have told us what vehicle it is, that's how you're going to get in to be able to park in the campsite or at the building. The next category, and this is the third of 3. So campsite, building, and then this isn't a parking pass. This is just a vehicle pass. This is an in and out temporary vehicle pass. So in addition to the campsite and building parking passes, we're offering an in and out temporary vehicle pass. Each club will receive an in and out pass. This in and out pass is only to enter, unload, and exit. It is not a parking pass. It's valid until 10 p.m. on Friday. The first vehicle from your club will receive this in and out parking pass. So you might say, well, if the first vehicle to arrive from my club gets it, what happens to the rest of us who need to go in? And this is where we're asking for you as director secretary of your club to help manage this. The only way for a different vehicle from your club to enter camp is for the vehicle with the in-out pass from your club to exit and give the in-out pass to another vehicle from your club. You can use this in-out pass for as many vehicles as you want, but only in exchange. You can't use the same pass for 5 vehicles to go in. Only 1 vehicle goes in at a time with the parking pass. For a new vehicle to come in, the vehicle that has the pass from your club has to exit and meet. Where are you going to meet? How are you going to find the people? Any vehicle, all that will happen in the short-term parking area. The short-term parking area. This is where one of your club vehicles exits so that you can give the pass to somebody else so they can go in and unload. If when you get to camp, you aren't staying at a building, you aren't the one with the campsite pass, you need to get in to unload, you wait in the short-term parking area. And that's where your clubs will have someone come out, whoever has the pass, and give the pass to you so you can go in. Another option, if vehicles want to go park in long-term parking and walk into your campsite or housing, that's another option. If you don't want to wait, you want to go to long-term parking, or you planned ahead and your car only has people in it. You don't have any sleeping bags, you don't have any suitcases, backpacks, tents, food, you don't have anything. All you have is people. I suggest you go straight to long-term parking and everybody just walk into your campsite. Plan ahead and it will help you to move through the check-in process. Now, someone might be thinking, hey, wait a minute, I'm a large club. I've got more than 50 people registered. I only get 1 pass. We've decided that clubs with more than 50 people registered will be given a second in and out vehicle pass to you. So you'll have 2 vehicles that can come in and come out and exchange and do all of that. So we're asking clubs to really plan ahead and think through how they want to use those passes, who's going to get to use those passes, and make it so that you can manage that part. At the end, we have a suggestion that I think will help, and that's here in green if you want to read ahead. By 10 p.m. on Friday, all vehicles without an in and out vehicle pass must exit to long-term parking. And all parked vehicles with campsite parking passes must keep their engines off. We just want to remind everybody that 10 o'clock, all the in-out passes expire. And if you do stay at the campsite with the parking pass, please make sure that vehicle has its engine off during the night and throughout the weekend. If you've been camping before, you know that fumes can get into tents very easily because mufflers and tents are at about the same height. All right, The next line, any vehicle in long-term parking may come and go from long-term parking all weekend. So that's one of the benefits of being in long-term parking. If you want to run into town, if you forgot something that you need for a meal, long-term parking is where you come and go all weekend as long as your vehicle's parked in long-term parking. So once a vehicle comes in with a campsite pass or a building parking pass, those two vehicles stay put. The in and out pass is not a parking pass. It's go in, unload, come out. Go in, unload, come out. Find a new vehicle from your club, go in, unload, come out. And you can do that as many as you want, as many times. So any vehicle parked at a campsite or a building with a parking pass must stay parked until 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. Please do not drive any vehicle on campus after 10 p.m. on Friday. Here's our suggestion. We strongly recommend your club consider having a group text or messaging thread set up to help your club manage this on site. If you know you have 5 drivers with 5 vehicles, we're suggesting that whoever the contact person is, whether it's the director, the secretary, or somebody else, that they start a group text thread and say, hey, building pass people, you're this. Campsite pass people, you get that. Here's our in and out vehicle people. And especially that in and out vehicle pass would be managed. So somebody says, hey, I'm almost done. I'll be out in 5 minutes. Meet me in short-term parking. The person in short-term parking is relieved because now they know that they're actually going to get to go in and unload. So they get the hope. And you can message and keep each other connected throughout this whole experience. Someone may say, what are we doing? Why are we doing all this? We want to make sure that the inside of our campgrounds flows smoothly. And we also have found that when we ask for vehicles to move out, that they don't, we end up clogging roads. And we, for a safety issue, have said we're going to limit the way that vehicles move around inside camp just to make sure that, God forbid, if there was an accident, nothing happens that would prevent an emergency vehicle from getting somewhere. So that's what we're looking to do there. That's the parking pass that we wanted to share with everybody. That's the information. I'm going to stop the screen share and just check in for a moment and see how are we doing. Any questions on this? 140 people? Yes, we will, Cheryl. We'll give you guys more. That's on our list. So we have a couple clubs that are over 100. So we'll give those up to 4 passes so you can come in and out. Again, same principle applies. Start a text thread, get people involved so that they know who has the pass, who's coming in, who's going out, when are they coming in or going out. So those are things that we want you to keep in mind.
Yes, Pedro.
Please do fill out the questionnaire. Please do take time to go through that so you can assign who's the campsite vehicle, who's the driver, who's the building person, who do I give permission to park their vehicle at this spot. And then the in out is whoever comes, whoever goes. That's what we have set up for you. All right. Eartha, did you have something?
Yes, I know you spoke about like the vehicle that will be parked, say, at the campsite. And you talked about the engines being turned off on cars. If a vehicle that's there was attached or connected to, I didn't hear you mention that, so I want to highlight that. If they're connected to, say, a trailer and they happen to be the vehicle that's staying there, that's considered one vehicle. That trailer needs to stay connected for the entire weekend, not to be disconnected for them to use the car and drive around. It has to stay connected and it cannot move until Sunday 9:30 when vehicles are allowed to slowly move around to get out with limited road access, as a reminder as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that is in the document. So yes, they can refer back to that. And I just posted it in there.
Yeah.
Jose, I see your hand.
Yes, also a reminder that every year we say this. When we say that the vehicle is in and out vehicle, is to unload and leave. It's not to unload and then, I'm helping my club fix up the tent while everybody else is outside waiting. You just unload on the ground and leave.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's a load unload. And if somebody decides to stop or decide to help set up, then you've got people in the parking area who are waiting. And if you were the one in the parking area, you wouldn't want to wait. You would hope that somebody goes in, unloads, comes out. That's it. That's the only thing that in-out temporary pass is for. The questionnaire we mentioned will be sent tomorrow. So watch for that in your email. If you don't get it, we'll put a link to it in the newsletter also, which will come out on Wednesday. So watch for it there. Again, the questionnaire we were trying to get that out today, but we're going to get that out to you tomorrow. The link for the parking questionnaire isn't there yet, so I'm just trying to answer all this stuff. So here's the question: how many building parking passes will 3 Woodland Lodge rooms get? You'll get 1 parking pass for a building per room purchased. So if you bought 3 Woodland Lodge rooms, how many building parking passes will you get?
3.
1 parking pass per building or room purchased. So just keep that in mind. And in and out does expire at 10 p.m. So this is in, unload, get out, let somebody else come in. If you don't have somebody from your club to give the pass to, please go back to the parking pass area where you picked up the pass. Otherwise, they won't know how to get you or make up some other arrangement to meet with them. But we are asking that all that would be managed by clubs so that you can keep frustration low and efficiency high. Again, if you know people are coming, please start a thread. Please go through all that information. We do have some people registered for Red Zone that show up and they've never heard about any of the parking stuff. They never knew there was any restriction or limited access, and that's a shock to them. Please, as directors, as secretaries, make sure you pass that along to them. We just put the link to the parking guidelines in the chat, forward it to them. Say, hey, we just want to make sure all our drivers are on the same page. If you're a parent and driving, here's how this is going to work. We've been asked to limit our vehicles coming in, and so we're going to share this information with you. We're going to organize it. Here's who's going to be the head of the chat to text the text thread. We're going to put all this together and make it all happen. So we wanted to make sure that we got everyone exposed to that at least a little bit and a chance to hear it. Any other thoughts or questions before we move on? There's a question in the chat that came to me. There are not activities for counselors. There are not activities for counselors.
Yeah.
All right, let me jump back into the screen share again and go to the agenda. And we'll continue on through there to make sure that we all get through all the stuff we wanted to share with you tonight. We're back to the agenda. Let me share it again and we'll dive in. But we do need your help to make all that work and to get all that organized. We're doing our best to put together a plan that we think will work, and we're going to need everyone to help us with that. All right. Here's this next piece. Today, late online registration opened and closed, and the only way to register now will be late on-site registration. That will be Friday, May 24 only. And if you are not pre-registered for a late fee, and if the adult is eligible in Sterling, you may register on-site on Friday. I do want to make this very clear. If any adult shows up at Red Zone and their Sterling is not cleared, they are not eligible, they're not cleared in YMMS, they will not be allowed to stay. So please save yourself the hassle. Please tell your folks, hey, I'm sorry, you didn't get cleared in time, you didn't get registered. Unfortunately, we can't bring you. This is not meant for a lot of people to come. This is meant to say, hey, if there's a person that last minute something happened, you want them there, you need them there, somebody had to do something else. This is meant to say, here's a space for them to register. So this is late on-site registration. If it's a child, Pathfinder Adventure, and they need to come, they can come. If you want them to be there, there is a late fee. Make sure that you're aware of that. And as long as the child is cleared to come with you, we'll register them on site and help you take care of that. Please do not bring a ticket for Pedro and say, can I exchange this for Henry? That's not how that's going to work. It's not an exchange at that point. It is a new ticket, and that's the only way to do that. So please do read the information, make sure you're aware of how that all works, and please save yourself, the adults, and the kids the hassle of wondering, am I going to make it, or am I going to be allowed in, or can I just get through? We want to make sure that you know that that's the last chance to get any registration done. All right. So here on this is the website. The website, we looked at that. That's the best place for you to get the best and latest information. Again, that will be posted. We'll be posting updates all week here early in the week to get that going. They've already posted several things for us. We mentioned this, that if you want to learn how to crack a whip on Sunday, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., you can come out and meet with Alan to get ready to head west for Gillette, and that's at the Horse Barn. The guy says he's pretty successful at teaching people how to crack the whip, and usually within a couple minutes, he can get them to do it. So that's something to think about. I do want to invite you to pray again for what's about to happen at Red Zone. This is where young people, we hope, will sense God's presence, see Him more clearly, choose to put love into motion. The team's been working hard on Friday evening, joint Vespers, Pathfinders and Adventures, Sabbath morning, separate worships with Adventures, separate worships with E-Tracker, separate with Varsity. Saturday evening, Pathfinders all come back together, Adventures stay for their own worship, and then our closing programs. We've got a church that has some young people. Last I knew, there were 2. They're working on a 3rd one to be baptized. So we're excited to share that with you on Sabbath afternoon, around noon, right after the morning worship. We're looking for God to do something great at Red Zone like He usually does, and we're asking you to help us pray about that. For club directors, secretaries, counselors, staff, part of what happens at Red Zone is to help you have conversations with your kids in the evening when you're getting ready to send them to the tents to go to sleep, when you're hanging out by the fire, when you're walking in between things. Just check in with your kids. How you doing? What's God saying to you? What are you hearing God speak to you about as you're here? Sometimes just being in nature at camp is enough for a young person to tune into God, even for us as adults to tune into God differently. So please join us in praying for an incredible weekend, that will be something that God does what He does, and He shows up and He helps us to see Him better. So we thank you in advance for helping us with that. And we know you're already working hard doing all this stuff. We're working hard doing all this stuff, and we don't want to forget to ask God to help us make that weekend more than just a good weekend. We want it to be a spiritually charged weekend for our kids. Couple final reminders here from our side, and then we'll open for questions. Photo ID for all adults at check-in. That's become pretty standard for our events. So if you're 18 or older, please make sure you have a valid government-issued photo ID with you. That will help things go smoother for you. Goose Chase, again, sign up under activities. That's still open and will be open all through the Red Zone event as well. You can click there in the agenda. And then s'mores, we talked a little bit about that, so we wanted to share that information with you. As you think about Red Zone, we are asking you to continue to check out the website, contact our office if you need any help. I see that there's a question about, is there a map? Yes, the map will be coming up soon. In terms of where you're camping, the map will have areas where you're camping. It won't have your campsite within those areas, but we are working on that to be able to have that for you. Our goal is to get that before you travel, and we would post that back to the website. Is there a link for the page that I'm showing? Yes, I can put that in there again. Yep, thank you, Eartha, for answering that. On-site registration. If you look at the information through your registration page, the on-site registration does go up to $44. So that's not something that we want you to have to do, but if you feel like you got to bring somebody, that is what that rate is. So please keep that in mind. We are working on getting the map. Again, notice the challenge. We've extended the time for swaps. We added a late online registration. Those changes mean that we don't have a final count to do our final map layout until late. So we're about 2 weeks behind where we would be normally for the map layout because we're trying to give people time to register. But we've got George waiting and a team waiting to put all that together so that they can get that all organized and as fast as they can set up the different areas and then help you know where you'll be camping within those areas. So watch the website for that under the map section. All right, Leah, who's been working hard
Man, I
to
need
help.
to have mechanics all by myself.
Why? Look at that.
All right. That was a nice surprise. So Leah, who has been working hard from the office side to clear many of you, to get things ready for registration. She's on tonight. If there are any questions for her or Leah, if you have anything that you want to share with everybody, we can do that. Anything, Leah, from your side? Okay. Any questions for the team at this point? I know online, is there a program available with all the activities? The schedule is what has everything online. So the schedule is already online. We're going to be updating that schedule. A few things have changed. The requirement, Kim, if you could speak to that, I think, Kim, this is the prayer walk and bubbles walkthrough.
I was just responding to the walkthrough, but if Kim is still there, she can. There is no prerequisite for the walkthrough. I was just responding in the group on that, but since you brought it up here,
Okay.
the Pathfinder can just select. They just need to register when registration opens tomorrow, and that would be something they would select the Pathfinder to participate in.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, very good. Very good, very good. That's it
Mr.
from
Pedro?
the agenda side. Let's go to questions. Jose.
Professor Pedro, just a little reminder, it's too late now, of course, for this time around, but the person that asked anything to do for the counselors, there is a senior category or drill team where a counselor and everyone over 18 can have a drill team and participate in the competition.
Yeah, thank you for that. So there is something for the adults.
But of course, it's too late now, but there is that particular.
Okay, thank you for that. Good reminder.
I was just to say that's a great reminder. I think they were asking for honors, but that's a great reminder that they can participate in that. Thanks, Jose.
Let me go to the chat real quick and then I'll come to Richard. So if you are lodging offsite, when you come in, you'll show your wristbands. Your wristbands will let the vehicle come in and you'll go to long-term parking. Why? Because long-term parking is the come and go throughout the weekend parking spot. So that's how that works. The water park is closed for registrations. However, you can purchase tickets on site on Sunday morning. So if you want to still go to the water park, you can still get in on Sunday morning. That question was in the chat. Question for Leah in the chat. Leah, can someone still be approved in YMMS if this person is eligible in Sterling? And we have been working with you on that. So please do send the information to Leah. Eartha answers and see the schedule requirements. Okay. How much for late registration for the water park? If I'm not mistaken, the water park goes to $20 per ticket on site. And all that information you can get from the website under the information page. Okay. Let's go to Richard and then I see Bernie. You're welcome.
Yes, the question I have is for the food registration for Camp Colaqua. Do we know what type of food? Because it's my first time buying food there. So I haven't really paid for it yet because I don't know exactly what type of food they have. I do know they're vegan, but do they offer like anything else besides vegan food?
Yeah, for Red Zone, the meals will all be vegetarian, and there are some vegan options as well. The meals are all buffet style. There's always a salad bar, there's always a main entree bar, and then it's all you can eat or all that you want to eat, or however you want to say that. And there's also drinks that come with it. So it's the drinks, the food, the buffet bar, everything there is included, but it is all vegetarian based. There is no meat on the buffet.
So that's for Colaqua. That's for Colaqua food, right? But like the vendors that are selling out, it's you order whatever it is they have from their truck or whatever it is. But for Colaqua, it's the buffet style that you mentioned.
Correct. The other food option is on site. that we will have some food vendors that will also be vegetarian. We even asked that our clubs would have vegetarian meals in their campsites. So the event is basically vegetarian. Outside of camp is where you would have the non-vegetarian options. All right, let's go to Bernie.
Hey, yeah, I was just wondering, are we still going to be pulling into the lodges there for registration and then have to circle back around those lodges or registration area again?
Correct. The lodges are the registration area, and if you are staying at one of the lodges, we would ask you to complete the loop and then come back in, and then you can start moving in. Correct. Yeah, and that's just to keep the flow going. And I know last year that flow did not flow, right? Like last year, that was a big traffic jam. So we've done a couple things to try to get that fixed, and we're still working on that and processing that because we don't want you to be stuck there. After driving as long as you drive, we do every year try to make that the best that it can be. And so thank you for your patience with us. We are still working on that, but we think we've got some things that will help make that flow. But yes, if you are staying at the Woodland Lodge, please complete the loop of check-in, then go back around and come through again and then find your lodging. That road will be a one-way road through the whole loop of the lodges. All right? And you'll only be allowed back into the lodges to move in with the parking pass. So please keep that in mind. You have to have a building parking pass to be allowed back in to that loop. All right. Very good. I see Evelyn's hand. Evelyn, you're muted.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
When you register for your meals, they have two questions for the person that is registering. They ask if you want gluten-free and vegan. So you're able to get that.
Yeah.
You just give them a number. So I wasn't sure for my club, so I just chose 7 of each.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you for that. And this question came up in the chat again. Let me try to be clear once more. You get 1 building parking pass for every building or building room you've purchased. So someone asked, if I got 8 Woodland Lodge rooms, how many building parking passes will I get?
8.
The answer is 8, right? So if you have a building parking pass, for a chalet, you get 1. For a mini lodge, we'll give you 2 building parking passes because a mini lodge has 4 rooms inside. So we're going to say we'll give you 2 for that. And we've been working on all those formulas to help you see that, and we'll help you build all of that as well. But you get, if it's a chalet, it's 1 building pass. If it's a rustic cabin, one building parking pass. A mini lodge, 2 building parking passes. A Woodland Lodge room, 1 building parking pass. So everything is 1 building parking pass per building, except for the mini lodge, we'll give you 2 for a mini lodge. All right. A question came up. Oh, actually, anyone needs water park tickets? Lehigh has 2 available at a discounted price and meal tickets. So Leo's putting up his Craigslist offer there. That's great. Richard says he wants the meal ticket at a discount, so don't miss out on Richard, Leo. Help a man out. Help a brother out. All right, very good. Let's go back through the chat. Whoops, it disappeared from me. There we go. Can we use charcoal? Is that the question that I saw? 1 parking pass per building room purchased, except mini lodge, you get 2. Thank you, Eartha, for that. Leo likes the comment from Richard. Help him out. Registration fees, non-refundable. Correct. Registration fees are non-refundable. And those fees are used. So if you buy meal tickets from Kalakwa, those are non-refundable. They already buy the meals in advance. They buy the food to make the meals. Red zone tickets are also non-refundable. So please make sure that you're watching for that. Did I say something about charcoal? Did I just make that up? There it is. Can we use charcoal grills at camp? They don't want open flamed cooking at camp. Technically, charcoal grill is not on the ground and it's in a contained pit. So I believe that would be okay. But yeah, we do want you to be careful because you can imagine how many people are around you with open flames, and that presents some challenges for people. So, all right, very good. Richard, you got a contact or yeah, Leo's. Yeah, you guys can work that out. Very good. There is no registration for adventure events. All those are just show up. You do sign in for your bug on Saturday night if you want to start racing, or Sunday morning. If you're an adventure, no sign up needed for any activities, just show up. They will split you up into groups for Sabbath. There's a rotation after your joint worship for adventures in the morning. You'll go to 4 rotations for the second part of your morning worship experience. So you will get separated that way, just as a heads up. Bernie, I see your hands up.
Yeah, going back to the charcoal grill, we actually have a camping grill that we use for our adventure camping trips, and it's a propane grill we use for every single camping trip. Is that okay?
Propane, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and all cooking is with propane and with a flame, right? We just ask you to be careful because usually the propane camping stove isn't likely going to get tipped over in a fall, right? As much, but most camping grills are a little less stable. Usually the camping stove's on a table and it feels a little more secure to me. So just be careful anytime you are cooking. Yeah. Yes, you may use a generator. That's also in your schedule. You can see that generators need to be off by 11 p.m. on Friday night and Saturday night. That's when quiet time starts. And also another reason while for the generators off at night is because kids are sleeping on tents and fumes go into tents. So be careful how you position your generator and where it's pointing to and where the exhaust is going. So you want to be careful with that. Where they could go to dispose coal. All right. Yeah, so if you are using a coal fire, just note that you can't just dump coals out in the grass, right? Because coals will catch grass on fire. So please make sure your coals are cold and watered before you do dispose of them. And we would ask you to put them in some kind of a bag and take them to the dumpster. So make sure coals are cold, absolutely not smoldering, and also placed in a container and in the dumpster. Sarasota Adventure Club is new, so we didn't register for any activities. Not a problem. Adventurers don't have to register for activities. So don't worry, Elizabeth, you're fine. You'll be fine. Adventures don't have to register. Pathfinders don't even have to register, but if you want to sign up for different activities and honors on Sabbath, that's where the sign up comes. That opens tomorrow for 1 week. PSE, Pathfinder Skill Events, close tomorrow. And you can find all the details about Pathfinder Skill Events on our website. All right, very good. Any other questions before we start to wrap up? Very good. Watch for the questionnaire. If you miss it, feel free to email us. If you miss the email, we'll put it in the newsletter as well. So we'll keep you informed that way. All right. Thank you for coming on tonight. We're glad that you have joined us, and we want you to have the best experience possible and to be able to leave Red Zone feeling happy, feeling blessed, and feeling like you had a good wrap up to the club year. So thank you very much for coming on. Doris, is your hand up for a question, or you already got it answered in the chat? It's gone. All right.
No. It's just clapping.
Okay, very good. All right. So I'm going to wrap us with a prayer, and then if you want to stay on, you can, but otherwise we'll be done for our call. Let's pray together. Our God and our Father, thank you for these leaders that are working so hard in their clubs to get all the kids that they can to Red Zone and to be able to help them to have a great time. We pray that you'll bless us as we prepare, bless us while we're at Red Zone together, and we look forward to the stories that we'll be able to tell of how you showed up and how you helped us to see you better, to know how much we are loved by you, and then may that spark us to put that love in motion and love others. We pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.